Good morning, Comrade. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
In a response to why they decided to move to the APC, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, explained how they're doing it for the people of Delta State because they need to be connected to the resources in Abuja, and that he was in the opposition for the longest time, but not much was being able to be achieved because he kept fighting. But now he doesn't want Governor Sheriff Oborevwori to keep fighting because the governor is working, so they need to be connected to the people in Abuja. Do you agree with this perspective?
Well, first, I thank you for having to take the time to x-ray the happenings in the political space of our dear country. As unfortunate as things are, we'll always wish to respect people's right of expression, right of association, and right of where they choose to want to belong to. But in exercising that right, there are certain statements that I will presume to be unguided. There are certain statements I presume to be unethical. There are certain statements I also feel that even in the conscience of their conscience, they will know that such statements are indicting by nature. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, former, is a leader of the party, of my party, the PDP, in the yesterday that I highly respected. When we had crisis in Edo, he was one of those that provided mediation. At the time, we were having the turbulence of the former governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, wanting to come to PDP, and we, the traditional legacy PDP people, resisting his coming into PDP. He brokered the peace, and at the end of the day, Obaseki came. What he did to us after his presence is history to be discussed another day. But again, for him, two things were very critical and germane in the statement he made yesterday. The first was a statement of his that have now shown indictment that he now owned up unconsciously that he did not perform as a governor. If you as a former governor will say that you were unable, then there was a governor in Delta before that was a governor under a PDP administration. There was also a governor which he now represented as a governor under an APC administration. To openly come up before the gallery of Nigerians to say that he did not do much for 8 years. You suddenly knew after 8 years that you did not do more.
Well, just to mention, he said he did his best, but the people of Delta State lost a lot.
My dear sister, I did my best after 8 years. You realize after 8 years that you did your best. But like I stated earlier, it is his choice to choose to go to a political party of his choice or an association he chooses to be associated with. But in most cases, it is unfortunate and uncharitable to say it is for the interest of Deltas, because there is nothing that suggests that there was a referendum that was conducted by the present administration in the state to ask the Deltas that, do you want us to go to ABC? There was no referendum of such nature. So if selected persons sit within the comfort of their room and for their own interest, known to them, not known to us, but certainly known to certain persons too, choose to jump the ship, all they would have done honorably is to say, for some reasons, I just choose to want to associate with this party, and not for any reasons that will become something that will become a moral body. People must learn to take responsibility of utterances and statements they make at time they make them. There was a statement that the commissioner in Edo made in Delta, I think some days before this, I think it was on Thursday or Wednesday, when he said PDP is now like a wine that has lost its taste, and the people of Delta have chosen to use another calabash. These are guided states. Come on, a party that made you who you are. Who were you yesterday without PDP? Who had known you within the landscape of the Nigerian political conversation if a party had not thrown you up? A party had thrown you up. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa started as a commissioner, a secretary to the state government, senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for 8 years, governor for 8 years under PDP, and became a vice presidential candidate in the just concluded presidential election. Come on, my dear. Let us give credence to morality sometimes. If you want to live, you live. Nobody holds you from association with whosoever you want to associate with. But again, don't do this in a way that it infracts the pains in the hearts of those persons that have cherished and loved you yesterday, You have a right as anybody. I could wake up tomorrow and say, I don't want to belong to any political party. I just want to be a Nigerian and go back to my activism as it then was. But again, I will not wake up and say PDP is useless. As useless as the structure of the party may be, I cannot say that the party is useless.
Okay, Comrade, you've raised very valid concerns. And everyone is free to defect, but you shouldn't offend the sensibilities of a party on which you grew your political career. Now, let's talking about PDP, still with the PDP. 2027 is fast approaching, and a lot of we've seen a lot of moves and maneuvering in the political sphere. And some have said, this defection, because you have people, foundational members of the PDP, you have people like James Manager, Ifeanyi Okowa that have been there for eons, now decamp into the APC. They say it's the death knell of the PDP and also PDP's internal crisis. Looking at all of this that is happening and more, do you think the PDP stands a chance to put up a formidable opposition as we inch towards 2027?
I will not go directly to say that PDP stands a chance or not to stand a chance. But two things would have thrown themselves up with the recent happenings in the party. To be honest and to be fair, the party is not in good shape. That is not pretensions. Secondly, is the party making any effort to get themselves from the shape they have found themselves? It's left for the leadership of the party to begin to think so. But as it stands at this moment, nothing suggests that that direction is being sorted. But whether PDP can stand, PDP remains one political party. In some certain regions, you can't just wish away PDP. Delta State is one of such. Yes, in the build-up to elections, a lot of things will still happen. But the beauty about these things has two edges. I was sharing with a friend yesterday and I told them there are serious consequences on the earliness at which political campaign had started. The reason why I shared so is that it is too easy, too early for the ruling party to have just now shown to the Nigerian people their intention of wanting to grab states and make the nation a one-party system. That is dangerous to democracy, is unhealthy to democracy, and above it all, it is not in any way strengthening of national unity. People may not understand what political party does behind the scene to integrate the Nigerian people. If religion do not bring people together in this country, ethnicism would have brought people together. If ethnicism doesn't do that, political party does that. I shared yesterday on the platform and I said, have you ever wondered when PDP goes to Borno for a rally, when they mount that podium, at the time they are there on the podium, there is no Fulani, there is no Kanuri, there is no Yoruba, there is no Igbo, there is no Edo, there is PDP in Nigeria. That was a form of unity. The same venue they go to Sokoto, they are in Calabar, they are in Lagos. This is one thing behind the scenes, creates a platform for unity. But to begin to think it towards one party system or making it a regional thing is dangerous. The second leg of it is, me as a person, I do not think there was any reason that suggests why Governor Sheriff should have left the People's Democratic Party for APC. If he had the right of wanting to support the president, which as it is today, we have not seen anybody that is courageous enough to confront the president in the 2027 general election, particularly as it stands from PDP, because we have still not put our house together. He could still assume to work with the president and remain in PDP. Let us not forget that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today was governor of Lagos State for 8 years under President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration and a PDP-led administration in an AC, as an AC governor then. He did not leave, neither did he concede any of his territory. When he left office, he was a stakeholder, an elder statesman in the Southwest under a Jonathan Yar'Adua administration, Jonathan Architect Domadi Sambo's administration. he was still a formidable force. Why was he a formidable force? Because he kept his territory, and every time he had what he can negotiate with. If you have not left the People's Democratic Party, who you control in a state, as an opposition governor to a position government in federal, and that is what you could use to negotiate. Now that you have left to join them in the party, what do you use to negotiate in the state? Because you are statutorily bound as duty of obligation to work for your party. You are not a member of the party, so you have to work for the party. So those that are in the opposition in the state now, who are the PDP you have left behind, they are the people that the government and the center will negotiate with to give them their support. So why do you throw such card away? Why do you throw it away for whatever purpose and intent? So that is why I said it is about themselves. It's about their next election. It's not about the next generation. It is not about the hardship that an average person feels in Delta. I'm not from Delta, but Delta was broken out of the old building. So we are sisters. Edo and Delta, they are brothers and sisters. That does not address what happened yesterday, does not suggest in any way a reflection of the hunger in the land in Delta. It suggests based on their own self-driven interests and ambition. Secondly, it does not in any way have a compensation that guarantees lives and properties in terms of security in Delta State. It only wants to guarantee their future and their safety. Clear, simple as ABC. So let's not deceive ourselves. Let's not be pretentious about it.
All right. I mean, we've talked about what this means for the PDP. But could you also shed light on the fact that the people of Delta State, what are they saying? I think that's what we really want to know now. You've been in the middle. You've spoken with politicians and non-politicians. But what are the people saying? Are they celebrating with the fact that the governor has moved to a new political party? Or are they indifferent? And I would like you to also touch on the fact that, does this mean that now that the governor has moved to the APC, does it guarantee that 2027, the president will also win the polls in Delta State?
My brother, election in Nigeria has taken a different dimension. Until politicians begin to realize that fact, they will still be living in the euphoria of yesterday. The people in Delta State, you may have to get some of your men foot on the ground to have a true reflection. It is different from the people that are commercialized to be on the podium. You know, statistically, once you have appointees of government, you have a government in power. Whether you like it or not, the government that runs across states, runs across houses of assembly, runs across commissioners, runs across local governments. And in the local government, you have councillors, and in the councillors, you have supervisory councillors, you have SAs, you have SSAs, you have PAs, you have all ward forms, you have people in boards, you have the stadium, and you have any venue you want to have filled up. Because people benefit from these things immediately. But what follows after they walk out of that venue, it is the reality of the day. The truth is evident and it's as simple as APC. That consultation was not a reflection of Deltas. That decision was not a decision that was taken by Deltas, and that truth must be kept in public airspace. It was a decision and consultation that was personal, self-driven, and for the protection of self-guidance, as clear as that. The second leg of it is that whether that guarantees that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to win Delta is a suggestion to 2027. Why I say it's a suggestion to 2027 is between now and 2027, what the average Nigerians see will be a reflection to what will lead them to the ballot. It is different from yesterday, where you put money in the hands of people and that suggests what decides their choices at the pool. 2027, certain things will burn people from their houses to the polling unit. Those things that will burn people from their houses to the polling unit will be evident in the reflection of the ballot. Some persons may be thinking that it's going to be business as usual. It will not be again. That part, the impression must be corrected, either as erroneous as it is, either by error, omission, or by commission, that people think that we just go in and it may not work again. Because hunger will push people to be wise. Insecurity will drive people to secure their votes. Bitterness and dissatisfaction of leadership failure will make people express how they feel. If Governor Sheriff is going to be a casualty in 2027, tomorrow is pregnant, and when that day of delivery comes, he will know what child will be given birth to. But I will tell you, as a personal person, as somebody that deals and dives into strong developmental policy and management, if I was Governor Sheriff, it had been better I had remained in PDP, because the danger is some person intelligent, wise, and clever will take advantage of PDP in Delta State. Don't be rest assured that one man that I know may bring up a candidate on that PDP platform tomorrow. When that candidate comes, every person that is aggrieved in Delta today because of this decision, no matter who that candidate is, they will throw behind that candidate.
Who is this one man? Who is this one man that you're referring to?
You should know now. Do you want me to mention somebody's name?
Are you referring to the Aviation and Aerospace Minister, Mr. Festus Keyamo?
No, Mr. Festus Keyamo is not a heavyweight when I'm saying one man in Delta State. Festus Keyamo is our good friend. He's a minister that is performing. We give that credit to him. But when you are talking about the foundation of Delta, there is one man.
All right, okay.
there is just one man.
Do you want to mention his name?
How can it be tempting? I said there is just one man. When that time comes...
No, our viewers will be interested in knowing who this man is. It's not for us. It's for our viewers, millions of people watching us right now.
That is the research work for viewers, to go to that and begin to unravel who this mystery man is. Okay. That man that can pull anything behind the scene, and when he pulls, things begin to move. That man that when he says move, and things moves in Delta. There is that man in Delta.
Interesting. So, are you then alluding to, I mean, what role does the vote of the people, the choice of the people, what role does it play in politics in Delta State?
The vote of the people and the choice of the people will not be limited to the role it plays in Delta alone. It will be limited, the discussion should be what role does it play in political space. And when you say the role of the people and the role it plays, is to the extent at which those people that now holds the mandate that the people have given to them exercise the power of the mandate. First, what is mandate? Mandate is people surrendering their will to you, their right of representation to you, their choice of leadership to you, their decision of saying that in our absence, take this decision, in our presence, take this decision. I will know whatever decision you take will be for the overwhelming generality of the people of the country, the states, the local government, and the councils. Now, but as it is in the Nigerian context today, I do not think that there is a reflection of the fact that the people's mandate, the people's wishes, or their votes first is a reflection of what is declared. Then the second aspect of it, if all the stages of litigations are overseen where there is no form of litigation to the highest court, which is Supreme Court, and that person becomes an authority, that person now, does the person now have what it takes to tell the people that the mandate I enjoy today has the dividend that is tied to it? The Nigerian people will tell you today, no. From the presidency, as much as I totally agree with the fact that there are a whole lot of things that the present president is trying to do, but you cannot compress so many things at the same time for one people to bear. That is the major challenge. Secondly, in bringing things for people to bear, there must be a robust conversation and engagement. People must have evidence to say this thing you want to do can work. It means there is a gap of communication. The third part of it is the fact that do people have a right to express when you say these things you want to do, you are doing them, and they say these things are not working? By expression, they say it's not working. Do you have a right to listen to their expression, or by hunting them, clamping them down, locking people, denying people rights of expression and freedom of speech? These are evidence that suggests that the people's will is no longer a reflection of those holders of their mandates. On the other part again, when you narrow it to state, you find a situation where you say the state accuses the government at the center of conducting a general election that does not have a resemblance of free and fair. And in all our states, when these governors conduct local government election, their political party wins everything. You see, just like yesterday, Governor Sheriff had left. All the local government structures left with him to the party he has gone to. Is that a reflection of the votes that he said he conducted in the local government council? When he conducted those elections in local government council, was it not under PDP that they won it? Who are the people representing them today? It's APC. Did you say that APC did not participate in that local government election? They participated. Did they win? He said they did not win because he demarcated the party then yesterday. But that is the party he has gone to today. So it is not the people, it is them. So what the people does is to come out in solidarity of the Constitution and civic responsibility to say, let us try and see if we can change the old order. The old order has failed. Now the people will look at it and say, how do we now navigate away from these people to begin to teach people and reward them, reward good for performance and reward punishment for bad governance? It will not be evident in the election that is ahead of us. So my take of this is the fact that every Nigerian, wherever you are, in whatever you do, on election, your choices of vote should be a reflection of what you desire. It should not have any emotional context. It should not be politically driven. It should not be religiously driven. It should be that will say, what do I want amongst these images I found on this ballot, or these logos I found on this ballot? Behind which of these has true manifestos that will lead me to where we want to go to? Let's not go to ideology because there's not that ideology.
Well, I mean, it's great that you've added this and you've told the people what their responsibilities are and how they should vote. And it's interesting because reports have it. I was just, I'd read a report earlier where it was Governor Sheriff Oborevwori was quoted to have said that now that he's with the APC, he's guaranteeing an average of 1.4 million votes for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the next election. So it's important that Deltans go.
Average. Why is the comrade laughing? Comrade.
It's an average.
My dear sister, in 2023, on that very podium, you see that very podium they were gathered yesterday, that very podium. The same sheriff was governorship flag bearer of PDP. Okowa, immediate past governor, was the vice presidential candidate of PDP. On that same podium, they guaranteed PDP 1.5 million votes. They say 1.5 million votes they have guaranteed Tinubu now. They did not get 10%. Peter Obi won data. 10%, 10% did not get. So, my dear sister, they are free. You see, they are as free as the bird to speak and to express themselves. But the decision, they have one vote, and deltas have collective votes together as deltas. That time, when that time comes, things will happen.
Well, just to mention, to clarify, at the last elections, the reports have it that PDP got 26% of the votes in the state in the presidential elections. We also had that APC was further behind with 15% of the votes, as Peter Obi of the Labour Party took. Yes, Peter Obi took 56% of the vote.
Okay, now hold on, my dear sister, hold on. Who was the serving governor of Delta then?
Okay.
No, it's not in line. Who was the serving governor of Delta?
Yeah, the serving governor of Delta. Sorry?
The serving governor of Delta then was Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, who at the same time doubled as the vice presidential candidate.
See, I think that the message you are trying to send at the end of the day is clear. What you're trying to pass across is clear. But again, what we just want to say is the people of Delta State have a lot of work to do in the coming elections. Last year, we saw that the turnout at the polls were not as impressive as many had hoped that they would be. 2027 elections, I think another final question I just wanted to ask was, do you foresee that there will be a higher voter turnout at the next elections? Because there's a fear that because there's a bit of disappointment in the minds of Nigerians with how governance has taken backseat and politics taken center stage, that there might be some measure of voter apathy. And if we don't see a large turnout, then that might give room for manipulation, which has been the order of the day in past elections. So do you foresee more people coming out at the polls this year, or at the next elections or not?
I will take two legs. The first leg, you said that the people of Delta have a lot of work to do. No, it's not the citizens of Delta that have a lot of work. It is those that have defected now, taking away the mandate of the citizens of Delta to another political platform that will have a lot of work to do, because they will have more than enormous tax that they have before to begin to convince the people that are presently angry. They have a lot of work to do to tell the people why they have jumped ship. They have more than a lot of work to do now to begin to tell the people why the people can still trust them. Because first, there is a breach of public trust. That is the clear fact that people must reckon. The second about voters' apathy. Yes, elections in and out have suggested that people are beginning to be disenchanted about how elections are conducted. But I tell you, my dear, the prevailing circumstances of what the nation is today is a propelling force upon which white people will want to vote. That thing that will drive people to vote, the momentum will increase at the end of 2016, either for good or for bad. We must not always say it's going to be bad. There may be things that may happen between now and 2016 ending, because the window period is still very long. It's 2017. We are still in 2025. That is why I said this is one of the most earliest electoral journey we are beginning to witness. We thought the last one was it, when the window period for campaign was too long. But this one, the window period for politicking has started just too early. Just midway, May 29th, will be the second year lifespan of this administration. And everything that has occupied the airspace already is 2 years away, 2027. Which one? We do not have the right to our life to know whether we'll be there till 2027. Secondly, we do not know the number of Nigerians that will still be remaining in Nigeria by 2027. A lot of them would have jackpot. Some hunger would have restricted them to one confinement, and some would have chosen out of bitterness not to want to participate as political social animals again. The third part of it is the fact that there may be suggestion of policy new directions, because we must not forget that in the history of Nigeria, there is one politician, political strategist that is now a president of this country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who had gone through all the institutions of political settings to become president. A former senator, a former governor, that is, he has worked through the legislative arm, through the executive arm, he now sits as the general overseer of the Nigerian political space. So every good and bad of policy, he knows them. He has traded before, he has been betrayed before, he has recovered before, he's fully back today. So he knows. So some persons will call him the master of the game. But even those that master chase, people get to defeat them that are not masters. He should not be overconfident. That is the take home to him. So when that time comes, something must drive people to vote. Something will increase the presence of people at polling units. And that is where it goes back to political party. It is not INEC. It is not the duty of INEC to mobilize people to go and vote. The duty of INEC is to let people understand that there will be 100% or closeness to 100% free, fair, and credible. The most important thing is the credibility of the process. INEC just only needs to guarantee credibility of the process. It is the duty of political parties, those that cross carpet and those that remain. It is their duty to go into locus, convince people, bring them up on the reason why they need to vote. And political parties should begin to do that just now to sensitize people, to carry advocacy to the people and tell them that you must vote if you want anything to change.
All right, Comrade, we're out of time. I mean, it's been a very fruitful conversation, but I'd like you to answer in a very, very short time our last question. Is the PDP likely opened to, merging with another political party in Delta State to ensure that they unseat the APC? That's one. And two, are you afraid of vote buying, which seems to be a major challenge? Bread, spaghetti, and all that is being shared. Ankara, yes, even, and small 2-5.
Why did you choose to go Ankara? Have you given Ankara for election?
And 2-5.
Why did you choose Ankara?
Guinea fowl.
The Guinea fowl, the logo. Sometimes even now, keg of petrol. Sorry for me. I don't know if I'm just. Are you worried about that?
Yeah, the reality of it is that the politicians have understood the people, and the people have still not yet understood the politicians. So politicians understand that citizens are hungry, and they are vulnerable to certain things. And during elections, they may come with all forms of things to buy them. It still then depends on the conscience of every person to know that you cannot plant cassava and harvest yam, or you cannot go to the farm and open the soil and close it and come back the next day want to harvest. So if you plant cassava, you should harvest cassava. If you want to make a thing change, you cannot collect what is given to you today and wait for another 4 years. These are gospels that people need, sensitization need to go out, and the civil society owe that responsibility when they want to change the system. Whether there will be vote buying or there will be no vote buying, there obviously is going to be any form of inducement. Politicians feel that what they can do on election days, because they look always towards next election and not the generation that precedes them. Next election, how much do I keep for next election? How much am I going to be spending? They are already working towards that. And it is now the choice of the people to say, hey, come on, keep this thing. I want to do what is right. That will be just the choices and the consciences of people.
Okay.
Then the second aspect, the other one you mentioned, the first was about
a merger,
yeah. Now about the merger of political parties is not for an individual conversation. When you see individuals say that we want to merge, it is political parties are institution and are organogram structure. It is the organ of the party that sees and says, okay, now that we are at loggerhead, can we meet with other parties for the purpose of dislodging this person? And when that agreement is reached at any time, it becomes a merger. But individual discussing it is personal interest. So for now, as it stands now, no party, the party as a structure or as organ is not discussing it from national of the party, even to our locals. They are not discussing it.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on Breakfast Central and breaking it down. It's been a very, very interesting one. And we'll look forward to have you again. Possibly we'll be discussing the road to 2027 maybe next year. Thanks for your time.
Comrade Jude Imagwe, it was a pleasure speaking with you. You didn't even tell us if you didn't tell us if you'll be running for political office or you want to keep the card close to your chest.
When that time comes.
Okay. God's time is the best, like they always say.
Thanks for your time.
The time will come when the time comes, we'll share. Enjoy the
Thank you, Comrade Imagwe.
Thank you.